Hey, welcome back to Cooking for the Hungry. My name's Papa, and I am cooking for the hungry. Today, a couple of friends of mine have thought it was a good idea that I do a little interview for you folks and let you know a little bit about me and why I'm doing this stuff. So, I have my friend Lana here with me. Say hi, Lana.
Hi.
She's going to be doing an interview with me, asking some questions, and I'll answer them the best I can. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Lana. The first question I have is, why did you pick Cooking for the Hungry for the name of the first show?
Well, I don't know, it just came to me. I thought, well, cooking for the hungry. Sometimes you take a word or a phrase and you think about it, say how many things it applies to. When I'm cooking for me, I'm cooking for the hungry. When I'm cooking for a group of people, I'm cooking for the hungry. So it really doesn't matter what the situation is. If I'm cooking for the hungry.
Why did you write your first book?
That's a good question. Well, I had lots and lots of recipes in my head and I didn't have them down. Back in 2012, I started putting my recipes together and putting them in my computer, and I seen that I had a lot, and I still had a lot more in my head, and so I decided, I'd put a book together. I started realizing there was so many kids out there, the last 3 generations after me that they don't know how to cook. And what cooking they do is very simple. And the scary thing is that all the processed foods that they buy, how expensive they are, and so many kids are having a hard time making it. When I say kids, I'm talking about young families. They're having a hard time go of it, and it just continued to get worse. The economy's gotten worse, and I decided to go ahead and do my first book. I put it out in 2014. I got a patent on the book and registered trademark name Cooking for the Hungry in my name, and got that book out, and I got them out as quick as I could, and I that's pretty much why I did that, and why I put that book together, because I wanted to teach people. That my first book has got a lot of recipes for anybody. I was going to start out and call it Cooking for the Hungry for the Beginner and Novice Cook. And then I realized that I had a lot of recipes that even cooks that have been around and cooking for a while would love to have. And so I started putting the book together, and I changed that. I just took that off at the bottom and decided to call it Cooking for the Hungry. In the beginning of the book, I have, Lana, that in the beginning of the book, it's a lot about methods and tips and how to do basic cooking. And then I kind of rate my recipes 1 through 3, 1 being easy and 3 being the most difficult. Not that you can't do them, just more involved. And then at the end of the book, I put things that people may not realize that they need in their kitchen so they can do some of this stuff. And lately I've seen so many young people, they're going to pantries to get food, and a lot of the food that they give them at pantries is fresh vegetables and stuff like that, and fruit, and you don't know what to do with it. They either let it rot, throw it away, or give it to somebody else. And it's such a waste, whenever we can put food back and really get something out of it, no matter what our ages are. So that's
Okay.
probably the reason I did the first book. I'm working on a second one.
Why are you doing a podcast now?
Well, I realized the book, it was really hard to get it out, the old saying, build it and they will come. Well, that's not necessarily so these days. You can build it and no one will come if you don't get it out there. And I decided to go ahead and start doing a podcast so that I can reach more people and help people learn, Yeah.
With your recipes that you have in your books, do you have anything for people? Are you going to be doing any recipes for people with diabetes or people who cannot have gluten or even people who can't eat solid foods?
Yeah, I've already in some of the recipes that I've done on podcast, I mention these things along the way because I know they're so important these days. Even like washing food. People don't wash food good enough. There's no wonder people are getting so sick from different things because they don't wash their food right. They don't cook it well enough. And then there's people that have special requirements, I know so many people personally in my family and friends that have so many different needs. I was just talking to a man today, and he has a need for to have pureed food and things that he can swallow because of difficulties he's having with his health. And I have a daughter-in-law, that has gluten problems, very, very, very allergic to gluten. And so I'm trying to think, talk about these things as I do recipes, things that you can do differently, just make them palatable or able to give to other people that have some issues. But I also plan to do programs. I actually, about a week and a half from now, I'm going to do a program just on some pureed food, especially for my friend, but I know there's a lot of people out there that have to do that because they have swallowing problems or digestive problems. But you can still eat good. You can still eat good food and not have to eat all that processed garbage that's out there. And I say that in a loving way because food is food. If you don't have none, it really sucks. But, processed food is not good for you. It's got so much stuff in it. And there's so many fresh vegetables and things that you can make what's good for you and still not run the food bill up,
So, you said you were going to write another book. So in your second book, is this the types of things that we can expect in there, or you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's going to be a lot more variety. I might even have some sections on the things that we're talking about, special diets and things. I'm not a dietitian, don't get me wrong, but I've been cooking for a long time and I've had so many things I've been exposed to, friends, family, and myself, that I know people need some guidance in their everyday diet, So my second book, I'm still going to leave some things in it that was in my first book because they're good to know. But I'm also going to include a lot more recipes. I'm hoping that book's going to be about twice as thick as my last one was. I enjoy doing this thing, so putting another one together, I'm guessing maybe the end of 2026, that I'm hoping to have something together. I don't know if I'll get it actually printed then, maybe the next spring, but I will have a second book for sure.
All right, that's all the questions I have. Thank you for allowing me to interview you.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I really do. These are the things I want to talk about, and hopefully in the future we'll have a lot more people watching the podcast and get the word out about this kind of stuff, because like I said, there's so many people that don't know how to cook, or they don't know how to cook on a lower budget diet and still eat good. So I'm glad you took the time to interview me and stuff. Those are good questions, right down my line. So anyway, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, and you can look forward to some things right away. In a few days I'm going to be doing my custard pie, one of my favorites. Of course, everything's my favorite. And then I'm also going to do the special diet, that I was talking to you about. Things that you can make pureed and still have good food, taste good, and good for you. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.